What's up, guys and girls? We are back for Unit 2 Part 2 notes. In Unit 2 Part 2, we were talking about the coordinate plane. Hopefully, most of this will be review. If it's not, just make sure you pay attention and ask me any questions you might have. So, let's start with just an overview of the coordinate plane. So, the coordinate plane is formed when you draw an x and a y axis that intersect, and they create four quadrants, and we call it the coordinate plane. So just to review, the x-axis is this one right here that goes horizontal. The y-axis is the one that goes vertical. To number the quadrants, it's kind of confusing, but we'll start here with quadrant 1, and we work our way back this way. Quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. So when we are in quadrant 1, our numbers are going to be positive and positive. What I mean by that is our x value is going to be positive, and our y value is going to be positive. When we do a point, the x coordinate comes first, the y coordinate comes second. When we're in quadrant 2, our x value is going to be negative and our y value is going to be positive. When we are in quadrant 3, our x value is going to be negative and our y value is going to be negative. In quadrant 4, our x value is going to be positive, our y value is going to be negative. If you look over here on the left, there's just a reminder that point P is represented by -3, -2. Point P is in quadrant 3. So just again, reminder, x value comes first, y value comes second. So let's look at actually finding points on the coordinate plane and writing down what the coordinates are. So I'll go through a couple examples, and then I'll let you guys do the rest. So the first one we have is actually a special kind of situation. We have x, which is right down here. Remember that we're going to do the x value first and then the y value. So if you look at the x-axis, the one that goes left and right, I don't actually go left or right. I stay right there at 0. So I'm just going to put a 0 right there. If I go down on the y, that means I'm going to have a -3 right there. For number 2, we have the y point, which is right here. So again, I go x first, I'm going 1 to the right, so that's a positive 1, and then I'm going down 1, which is a negative 1. Next up, I'm going to skip over to number 4, which is the m right here. Again, x value first, which is I go 4 to the left, so that's a -4, and then I go up 1, so that's a positive 1 on the y. And I'm going to do one more. I'm going to skip down to number 8, which is r right here. Again, I go left on the x, so that's -3. Go down 1 on the y, so that's -1. So 3, 5, 6, and 7, I'll let you guys go ahead and fill those in. In the next section, they give us the coordinates, and we're actually going to plot them on this coordinate plane that I have here. One thing I want you to notice about the coordinate plane is that the values on this go up by 2. So it goes 2, 4, 6. So just make sure you're always watching what your grid scale is. So the first one, point A, is at -5, -3. Again, remember that the x value comes first, the y value comes second. So I'm going to start at the origin, which is what we call 0, 0. And since it's -5 on x, I'm going to go 5 to the left, which is going to be right here between the -4 and the -6. Then my y value is -3, so I'm going to go down here between the 2 and the 4. I'm going to put a point right there and label it A. For the next one, I have point B. Again, reminder, x comes first, y comes second. I start at the origin. The x value is 2, so I go 2 to the right. The y value is 3, so I up 3, put a point right there. And I'm going to label that point B. For point C, again, one more time, x is first, y is second. I start at the origin. My x coordinate is -4, so I go 4 to the left. My y coordinate is 0, which means I just leave it right there on the x-axis. So that's going to be point C. D and E, I'm going to leave up to you guys to complete. Looking at the back side of your notes, the next part is on making a scatter plot. We'll talk about scatter plots a couple times throughout the year, so this is just going to be kind of a quick overview of what a scatter plot is. If you look at the problem, it says the table shows the number of women who finished the New York City Marathon from 1997 to 2001. And then they give you the table with the year and the number of women finalists. One thing you need to notice straight away is that these are going to be your X values on top, your Y values will be on the bottom. If you come over to the scatter plot, you'll see years labeled down here on the X, and then the number of women is labeled here on the Y. Also, coming back to the X, if you look, they put 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001. Each one goes up by 1 year. You have to be consistent. If you go 1 year the first time, you've got to go 1 year the next time. If you look at the Y, these values all go up by 1,000. Again, the scale doesn't matter as long as it's consistent. These all go up by 1,000. So part A says to make a scatter plot of the data. So all we're going to do is plot these points, with the year being our X coordinate and the women finishers being our Y. So in 1997, there was 8,413 women finishers. So I know that's going to be close to the middle between 8,000 and 9,000. In 1998, there was 8,032, so that's going to be close to the middle as well between the two. 1999 had 9,160, so that's going to be just above the 9,000. 2000 is back here between 8,000 and 9,000. And then 2001 is way down here just below 7,000. So the second part of the problem says to describe any relationships you see. I'm going to leave that to you. What do you see going on here? Is the data constantly going up? Is it going down? All this kind of thing. One thing that I just realized I want to think about is that September 11th happened in 2001, so that might have an impact on this. And at the bottom of this page is your review problems. These all involve order of operations. And remember to make sure you get those done. You're responsible to do those on your own, and then check them on the notes.